guys, in this video we are going to solve this system of linear equations by substitution. Now let's go ahead and get started. The first step is you want to rewrite one of your equations in terms of one of its variables. So in other words, I am going to solve for a variable in one of the equations. Okay, so that's like the first step. Now, which equation you choose is totally up to you, and which variable you choose to solve for is totally up to you. I am going to choose to rewrite the second equation and solve for y in my first step, okay? So that's 2x plus y is equal to 8. We are going to subtract 2x from both sides. And I'm left with y is equal to, now 8 and 2x, they are not like terms. So you can't combine them to mean 6x, okay? So because they're not like terms, you're just going to rewrite it as is, 8 minus 2x. Simple. All right, so now that we've done that, our second step is to substitute the expression 8 minus 2x into the equation we have not touched as yet, which would be the first equation. Okay, so part 2, substitute expression into other equation. Now, the reason I say other is because the other would just pretty much mean the one you didn't touch in the first step, okay? So, let's keep going. 3x minus y is equal to 7 is our first equation. That's the other equation in this example. And so instead of y, you need to put in x minus 8 minus 2x. So we have 3x minus 8 minus 2x is equal to 7. Now let's go ahead and solve for x. The first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is get rid of these parentheses by distributing. Okay, and when you have that parentheses and you have a negative or even a positive in front of it, that is an understood 1 that's there. So we have 3x. Negative 1 times 8, positive 8, is negative 8. And negative 1 times negative 2x is a positive 2x, and that is equal to 7. Now, we can simplify the left-hand side of our equation. 3x, 2x, they are like terms, so we can go ahead and add them together. Now, I'm adding because the sign in front of the 2x is positive. If that was a negative, I would be subtracting. So 3x plus 2x is going to be 5x minus 8 is equal to 7. Now let's go ahead and solve for x. We can add 8 to both sides, and we have 5x is equal to 15. And we can divide 5 on both sides. Now the reason I'm dividing 5, if you remember, is because the operation between the 5 and the x is multiplication. So the opposite is division. So we have x is equal to 3 as our first part of our solution. Now this value, 3, we're going to substitute into our initial equation that we manipulated. But I'm not going to substitute it into the first part, the first representation of the equation, which is the 2x plus y equals to 8. Instead, I'm going to simply substitute it into the equation that we already manipulated, because we already know that y is equal to 8 minus 2 times whatever x is. So let's go ahead and do that. So we know that y is equal to 8 minus 2 times x. So y is equal to 8 minus 2 times whatever x is, which is 3. And so that's 8 minus 6, which is equal to 2. So y is equal to 2. And this is the process for solving linear systems by substitution. Now, there is a fourth step that people might include, and that's where you check your answer. And you don't have to include this, but if you want to know if this is true, you simply substitute y for negative 2, well, for positive 2, and x for 3 into both of the equations and see if it is true. So the question then is 3 times x, which is 3, minus y, which is 2, is that equal to 7? Well, 3 times 3 is 9 minus 2, and it is equal to 7, so that's good. And in our second equation, 2 times x, which is 3, plus y, which is 2, is equal to 8. Is that the case? Well, 2 times 3 is 6, plus 2 is equal to 8, so that is true as well. And so you can definitely go ahead and check. Let me put check up here as your final step in this process. Let's take a look at another example. So here we have two equations which make up our system, and we are using substitution. So in the first step, we are going to go ahead and choose an equation to rewrite in terms of one of its variables. In this case, I'm going to choose the first equation this time. Okay? Now, this is part 1, step 1, and I'm going to rewrite that. So you have x plus y is equal to 8. I'm going to solve for, let's solve for x this time. So I'm going to subtract y from both sides, and I'm left with x is equal to 8 minus y. Once I'm done with that, let's go to the second step where I'm going to substitute the expression 8 minus y into our second equation wherever I see x. So instead of x minus y is equal to 4, I'm going to substitute 8 minus y is equal to 4. So we can get rid of those parentheses. 8 minus y is equal to 4. And I can combine negative y minus y, and I end up with 8 minus 2y is equal to 4. Now let's go ahead and solve for y, which is our goal in this second step, or solving for the other variable. So we can subtract 8 from both sides, and we end up with negative 2y is equal to negative 4. And then we can divide by negative 2. Now, some students have challenges in the area where they might simply divide by the 2 and forget that it is not just 2, but it is negative 2. You need to divide by the entire thing that's being multiplied by the y, okay? So let's keep going. So in this case, we'll end up with y is equal to 2. Now, our third step, that answer, y is equal to 2, we're going to substitute it into our next equation and solve for our other variable, okay? Now, can you substitute this value solution for y into any equation? Yes, you can, but I'm simply choosing to go back to the other equation. So the other equation would be x plus y is equal to 8. So x plus 2 is equal to 8. And in order to solve for x, we're going to subtract 2 from both sides. And we'll have x is equal to 6 as our answer. Now, you can stop there if you wish, but in order to know if it's actually true, did I do the right process, we can go ahead and check our answer. Check. And we're simply substituting both of these solutions, this ordered pair, into both of our equations in our system. So is 6 plus 2 equal to 8? Yes, it is. And is 6 minus 2 equal to 4? Yes, it is. So our solution, 6, 2, is what we are looking for.